So yeah, due to certain factors, we were facing some kind of an issue. Now we are back. Now what we are trying to do here is we have a flow that we have certain inputs. We have operator counter. Now, if the counter, what is in the counter? Counter is in my value, which we have decided here. That is my break limit. Now I have entered my break limit as 102. Correct? Now I will come back here. Now I am going to check here, check num or check counter is less than break limit. If counter is less than break limit means I need to again go to the flow, and what I am going to call again here is I am going to call again my sub process or my start process. Correct. Now we all know the difference between sub process and start process, which is going to make it better. So I'm going to use the better way. Okay. So I'm going to use it here. I'm going to use this particular process here. Okay. Now what I am going to pass here is I am going to pass here this same process. I am going to pass here this same process. PWS PARENT parent child process synchronously, and I am going to pass the value of num here. Okay, I'm going to pass the value of num here. Now let me click on OK. Now after this is done, and if it is greater, if the value is greater, it should come here and I am going to complete the flow. That's it. So this will be my simplest and easy representation to show the parent-child relationship, how many it can have. Okay, so what is going to happen? It is going to come here as a flow. We have declared a value. What we have declared? We have declared a num s. We have declared here that if it is empty, the num should be 1, else whatever the num it should take. So what will happen? It will come here, it will update num, it will update the value to num. After updating the value to num, if num is less than our break limit, my break limit is 103, yes, it is less than that. If it is less than that, it is going to come here and it is going to insert my value here. Now it will take 2. Now what will happen? 2, it will check whether 2 is less than yes. It will go here and yes, and my process will go and flow. Let me validate this process. This process contains no errors, and let me trigger this particular process. And before that, let me check whether my display name is correct there or not. And I'm going to check here, yes. If my num is 1, then it is a parent, else it is a child. Let me click on OK. Let me click on validate and file. Here we go, save and publish. And there we go. Now I will go to my PWS and check for the instances. Let me delete the whole processes. Now I will go there and I will start further debugging for it. Start process for debugging. Okay, it came here, it went followed a flow. Correct, very good. It followed a flow, and once it has followed a flow, it is flowing towards that flow. This is my parent, and it is going, my parent is going. Then it has a child processes. It has a child process. Let us see, and also at the meantime, let us see that okay, it is consuming this much memory. It is consuming this much memory. Okay, let's wait for the instances to get completed. 14, 21, 22, 24. We know my break limit is 102. It went till 31st. So if we try to analyze this process model, or if I just go with the documentation, let me again tell you what is happening here. We have designed a custom flow in which, based on the increment of a value, we are assigning a value to it. Okay, that's it. Means we have decided a set certain inputs. Why? Because I don't want to create multiple processes. With the help of same process, I'm going to determine that a parent can have how many child processes. And this will act as a basic understanding for our upcoming flow. Let me proceed further. 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. Here we go. 58, 59, 60, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67. It is going there. For the next time, let me try doing this like this. Let me wait for that to be completed. 78. It's running. 81. We are close towards the truth. 82. 83. And we also know that if we go to model matrix, the amount of AMU it is consuming is equivalent to KB. Means it is consuming around 2215 KB, which we had seen in our Appian glossary. Now, the moment it reaches 101, see, what does it says? If we open this instance, if we open this particular instance and go to errors in the process details, it will say the task start process tries to instantiate a sub process with a depth greater than the limit of 100. It means a parent. It means if I go there and search for something called P, a parent cannot have more than 100 children. Now this is something which we have triggered process synchronously. Same is a result we are going to receive if we try to run this process as asynchronous. Because if you see right now, none of the processes are completed. They are still in the idle state. It means if a process is running in a long-lived state, it is going to consume my memory. Let me delete all those instances from here. Let me just go back to this particular process. Okay, let me close the instance. Let me go to the process and yeah, let me, I have done it asynchronous. Okay, asynchronous, I will make it asynchronous. Yes, I will pass the values. I will validate it. This process model contains no errors. I will go file, save and publish. Okay. And I'm going to run this particular process now. I'm going to run this particular process. Control D or just go to file and start process for debugging. And here we go. Perfect. And here we are done with our entries. Now, if I go to my instances, I can see that my P1 is completed. Now it went to C2, C3, C4, and in the same fashion, because my processes are getting completed, if I go to the process model matrix, can you see instead of a big number, how much significant reduction we have done? Earlier, I believe it was around 1 to something, 1 to XY, and now can you see total memory? So it is a huge reduction in the memory consumption. Let me refresh this from here. So we have now 24 instances. Let me go back to process activity. Because we are able to close the instance individually. Therefore, these processes are not in the condition of long running processes, and we are able to save our memories. Let me run this particular process. Mhm. If we try to analyze what is actually happening, so if I go there, if I open this particular instance, what I will get to know is we trigger this instance, and this what is this start process? This start process is actually this process. We are using a concept called recursion. And if I open this process, it means if I go back and see the parent of the, if I go back and see the parent, it means this process has been triggered or has been started by this particular process. Let me see. 74, 77, 78, 80, 81, 82, 83. Just because we are running these processes in the asynchronous mode. Therefore, if we go to the file and check for the parent process, we are not able to relocate it. But if we are running it in the synchronous manner, the moment I go back to the open parent process, it will show me the parent processes. But at the end of the day, this particular process has been triggered by this parent process. The moment of truth, not only every instance is completed, but because if I click on this particular process, if I go to file, even though it is not showing me the parent process, because this particular process has been triggered asynchronously, still this is the child of this particular process, and this is the child of this particular process, and the parent of these whole processes is this one. And if we go back and see the error, I will see the same error which simply says that it cannot have the depth greater than the limit of 100. So I am going to use a concept of this thing because we know a process cannot have more than 100 childs. So let me come back again to my same statement. What I want to perform with my schedulers learning. I would like to run a scheduler which should run around 86,400 divided by x seconds. It means It means I must first design a process. I must first design a process that should run 1,000 times. Because if that process is able to run 1,000 times, it would be easier for me to replicate that process around 86.4 or 87 times. Because I know that a parent can have 87 children, but it cannot have more than 100 children. So hope we are done with this activity and you know what we are going to perform and why did we perform this activity. From this activity we got to know that what is the issue with the processes instances, that it cannot have a depth greater than the limit of 100. So let's go and create our process. Let me go back here. Let me clean these processes. Let me go back and let me create a process model, custom trigger scheduler to run custom n times having child less than specified limit. And we have learned that limit till now. We have learned that limit is 100. Let me click on create. It's loading. And yeah, let's specify the security and click on save. And there we go. Our pilot is ready with us.